additional 1 billion ringgit allocated to fortify public health system. Mobile vaccination trucks to be activated in Kuala Lumpur. Hello and good evening. Thanks for joining us. You're watching News at 10. I'm Shuhaida Arifin. The number of new COVID-19 cases in the country shows a declining trend with a drop today to 6,824, bringing the cumulative total to 572,357 cases. According to a statement by Health Director General Tan Sri Dr. Nur Hisham Abdullah, 3 of them were import cases while the remaining were all local transmissions. Selangor again topped the list of daily new infections with an overwhelming 2,111 cases, followed by Kelantan with 695 cases and Sarawak 654. Meanwhile, 5,251 cases recovered and were discharged yesterday, bringing the total number of recoveries up to 490,038, equivalent to an 85.6% recovery rate. Following this development, the number of active cases in Malaysia currently stands at 79,523. From the number, 851 of them are currently being treated in intensive care units, with 422 requiring respiratory aid. The Health Ministry also reported 67 new COVID-19 fatalities in the last 24 hours, and the death toll in the country rose to 2,796 deaths. Registration to receive vaccine jabs via the National COVID-19 Immunisation Plan (PICK) have recently increased by 50%. According to the program's coordinating minister, Khairi Jamaluddin, 12.11 million individuals have signed up, with 2.9 million of them already receiving their shots.
Kesedaran rakyat untuk mendapatkan vaksin bagi perlindungan untuk mereka sudah pun menjadi satu perkara yang sangat mendesak, dan kita akan meningkatkan lagi kadar pemberian vaksin disebabkan kerisauan daripada orang ramai untuk menerima vaksin. Jadi ini adalah satu perkara yang menyebabkan saya dan Menteri Kesihatan telah bermesyuarat tadi bersama dengan semua CITF negeri untuk kita percepatkan proses pemberian vaksin.
To date, 2.9 million vaccine doses have been administered and 1.1 million individuals have completed both doses. Furthermore, there were a spike recorded in Phase 2 registration for PICK, with 3.8 million people signed up. Meanwhile, the vaccination rate in the country stands at 100,000 doses a day. The ministry aims to administer 150,000 doses daily by the end of this June. Meanwhile, regarding the issue on individuals not present at vaccine distribution centres (PPV) to attend their vaccination appointments, State Health Department (JKN) and District Health Officers (PKD) are given the authority to exercise appropriate measures to overcome the issue.
Kita telah buat keputusan untuk empower Jabatan Kesihatan Negeri dan juga Jabatan Kesihatan Daerah untuk melaksanakan apa jua kaedah untuk memastikan bahawa mereka itu dapat menerima vaksinasi. Sebagai contoh, beberapa hari yang lepas, minggu lepas, Jabatan Kesihatan Negeri Terengganu telah minta kebenaran CITF untuk melaksanakan mobile unit untuk pergi ke kampung dan memberi vaksinasi rumah ke rumah.
Khairi said currently the attendance rate for vaccination is still at 80%. In order to further ensure attendance for vaccination appointments, CITF will send early reminders and call the involved recipients in advance. All right, now to our main headline story. An additional funding of 1 billion ringgit has been allocated for increasing the capacity and fortifying the public health system of the nation. According to Prime Minister Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin, this is to ensure that the health system remains strong and effective in its operation while facing the current COVID-19 situation.
Pertama, memperuntukkan 450 juta ringgit bagi meningkatkan kapasiti katil dan peralatan ICU bagi rawatan COVID-19 bukan sahaja di Hospital Seliaan KKM tetapi juga di hospital pengajar Universiti Awam seperti di UiTM, UPM dan UKM serta melalui Hospital Medan ATM seperti di Sabah dan Sarawak. Selain itu, penyumbaran luar juga akan dilaksanakan kepada hospital swasta. Jumlah ini termasuk 200 juta ringgit yang diumumkan oleh Yang Berhormat Menteri Keuangan pada 22 Mei baru-baru ini. Kedua, memperuntukkan 550 juta ringgit untuk menampung keperluan perbelanjaan berkaitan COVID-19 pelbagai agensi, antaranya pertambahan kos operasi dan pengurusan dalam menangani krisis kesihatan COVID, termasuklah ubat, ubatan, reagen untuk saringan dan lantikan pegawai secara kontrak. Dan ini juga termasuk kos pengoperasian pusat kuarantin dan rawatan COVID-19 atau PKRC di MAEPS dan di peringkat negeri. Dan ketiga, melanjutkan tempoh penghormatan lebih 14,000 pegawai perubatan dan jururawat lantikan kontrak sedia ada sehingga tahun 2022. Sebagai tambahan, kerajaan juga akan melantik semula lebih 500 petugas kesihatan yang bersara wajib tahun ini secara kontrak.
Speaking at his special national address earlier, Tan Sri Muhyiddin said this allocation is part of the Pemerkasa Plus Aid Package program with a total allocation of 40 billion ringgit. The aid package has three main goals: to enhance public health capacity, continue the Prihatin agenda and preserve business continuity. He added that if drastic actions such as the lockdown was not taken immediately, the country's health system could collapse. Nevertheless, the government is striving to ensure balance between lives and livelihood. In a related development, the government will begin the pilot project using trucks for mobile vaccinations at COVID-19 outbreak areas within the federal capital. The program will start at People's Housing Project or PPR areas, as well as construction sites authorized to operate during the lockdown period starting tomorrow.
Buat masa ini, Kementerian Persekutuan mensasarkan 30 truk mobile untuk melaksanakan mobile vaccination. Saya difahamkan boleh melaksanakan dalam 100 lebih vaksinasi satu hari.
Speaking at a media conference held together with the Health Ministry, Datuk Seri Dr. Adham Baba in Putrajaya, PICK Coordinating Minister Khairi Jamaluddin said the initiative was made possible in partnership with the Federal Territories Ministry. He added that after the pilot test, the government would then decide whether the vaccination mobile truck program can be expanded on a large scale to other states. Health Minister Datuk Seri Dr. Adham Baba said parents who continue to put their children at risk of exposure to COVID-19 could face more severe action from the authorities than fines. He said under Gazette law, the police can open investigations into such parents who risk the health and lives of their children.
Dengan SOP yang telah dikeluarkan oleh MKN yang telah pun diwartakan, ibu bapa yang engkar ataupun masih lagi mendedahkan kes-kes ni kepada wabak COVID-19 kepada golongan yang berisiko tinggi, kita boleh buka kertas kesihatan untuk diadili.
The Health Minister said before 2021, most infection cases reported were people aged 60 years and above. But at the beginning of the year, the Ministry recorded more younger people being infected. Based on the data available to the Ministry, over 20,000 children from the age of 0 to 12 years old have been infected by the virus. Thus far, for those under 20, Datuk Seri Dr. Adham said nearly all of the infected are under Category 1 and 2 of COVID-19. On another note, Datuk Seri Dr. Adham Baba said a total of 1,052,145 individuals had completed taking 2 doses of vaccine under the National COVID-19 Immunisation Programme up to yesterday. He said 1,860,864 individuals had received the first dose, bringing the total number of doses administered to 2,913,009. Commenting further on the matter, the Health Minister said the 3 states with the highest number of people having received both doses were Selangor, 139,427, followed by Sarawak, 109,934, and Perak, 97,558. As of yesterday, 49.9% of 12,117,091 individuals had registered to receive vaccine shots, with Selangor continuing to record the highest registrations at 3,223,832. According to the immunisation program plan, the first phase of administering the vaccine from February until April involved 500,000 frontliners. The second phase, which is from April until August, involves 9.4 million senior citizens, those at risk and the disabled, while the third phase, which is scheduled for May until February 2022, will involve those aged 18 and above, as well as non-citizens, with the targets of 13.7 million or more. Coming up, MOT to issue new approval letters through Smile system. The decision to allow several sectors to continue to operate during the total lockdown period is crucial to safeguard the well-being of the rakyat and to ensure the supply chain continuity for essential products and services. The Ministry of Finance, MOF, in a statement today said supply chains are complex ecosystem comprising people, operations, technologies, and information connecting the producer and the buyer through a network of entities and resources. Learning from the lesson of MCO 1.0, MOF said the government has also allowed the related value chain of essential goods such as packing and labelling to operate. For the electrical and electronics E&E sectors, the government recognises the fact that thousands of components manufactured by this sector enables critical infrastructure globally such as healthcare and medical devices, water system and energy grids, as well as transportation and telecommunication networks. As such, the ministry said even the short-term closure of the E&E sector could disrupt supplies from Malaysia and jeopardize essential goods not only in Malaysia but also the rest of the world, particularly during this challenging COVID times. To mitigate the COVID-19 transmission risk, the government, through enhanced monitoring and enforcement, will ensure that factories in Malaysia will strictly comply with the standard operating procedures, which limit physical presence at the workplace to 60%. The Transport Ministry, MOT, will issue new approval letters to allow companies registered under the Smile system to operate during the first phase of the total lockdown, as the previous approval letters are null and void. MOT, in a statement today, said the new approval letters are now available for download at its website. The Smile system, or System Maklumat Industri Logistik, is reserved for logistic and commercial transportation sector companies, which include air and maritime transportation, courier services and warehouse during the Movement Control Order MCO period. On the Standard Operating Procedure SOP during lockdown, the ministry said only 2 people, including the driver, were allowed at one time in private vehicles, taxis and e-hailing vehicles, regardless of capacity. However, 3 people, including the driver, were allowed at one time in the event of medical needs, such as hospital visits with a doctor's letters or vaccination as validated with the My Sejahtera application or for security reasons. For public transportation, MOT said all operators of land and sea public transportation were allowed to operate at 50% of passenger capacities. However, passenger airlines were exempted from this requirement due to the already low passenger levels. For the logistics sectors, MOT said companies related to land, sea and air transportation and handling of goods, including e-commerce businesses, were allowed to operate at optimum levels. The statement added that vehicle workshop and tyre shops, which are not under the ministry's purview but related to transport and logistics sectors, were also allowed to operate. The Companies Commission of Malaysia (SSM) will temporarily close its operations nationwide until the first phase of the total lockdown in the country ends. During the duration of the lockdown, services such as express filing, registered postal service, self-service kiosk and SSM call center will not be in operation. To ensure any transaction relating to businesses are not disrupted, its online service will, however, still be operational as usual. SSM clients can also easily access other services including portal EasyBiz, e-info and My Data. Any queries and further information can be emailed to inquiry@ssm.com.my. Out of jealousy and anger, a man fired a shot at his ex-wife's rear windshield last night at Lorong Jalan Bayam Tapang in Kota Baru, Kelantan. Kelantan CID Chief ACP Wan Khairuddin Wan Idris said the woman in her 30s was driving home with her 3 children aged 3 to 13 at around 7:30 p.m. when the incident happened. Elaborating further, ACP Wan Khairuddin said as soon as the woman arrived home, she heard the sound of a gunshot and noticed that there were several cracks on her car's rear windshield. Preliminary investigation revealed that the man, also in his 30s, was believed to have followed the woman home before shooting at the car. Police also confirmed a bullet hole and cracks on the windshield believed to be from a gunshot. The suspect has been detained this morning to facilitate investigations under Section 307 of the Penal Code.
Gawai kita datai baru. Harap terus mujur dalam pengawak di kerja. Terima kasih bagi petara, laba udah beri rezeki serta berkat ke tahun tu.
Ingat atur perintah sepemanja PKP gawai, anang bergelumuk berbalamayu, anda tahu ngabang ngagai pangan diri. Nyaga diri, nyaga semua orang.
Seruran nyitih ke SOP PKP ngau cara penghidup baru, nyemak palsu dari rumah, kena sekabung hidung ngau mulut. Ingat, jaga takah antara pangan diri.
Ngajiah ke kita bertuah berlimpah, semampai berjaga ke pengerai ngau pengelikun diri. Bergempuang kita munas ke penyakit COVID-19. Anang takut bertujuk vaksin ke terabai pengerai kita.
Gayu guru gerai nyamai, lantang senang, celap lindap, nguan menua.
Coming up in sports, never give up spirit seals Australian Open glory for mixed doubles shuttlers. National mixed doubles pair Chong Hoon Jian To Yi Wei are on a hot streak, winning their 3rd title at the Australian Open Badminton Championships last night. The pair bounced back from a first game loss to upset top seeds William Villager, Sharon Bauer of France 16-21, 21-9, 21-19 in a nail-biting 46-minute showdown at the Refersine Sports Park in Gras. Earlier in the semi-finals, Hon Jian Yi Wei defeated compatriots Beh Chun Meng, Cheng Su Hui 21-16, 19-21, 21-13. Prior to the Australian meet, the pair were crowned Polish Open champions in March before clinching the Slovenia international title last week. National men's doubles pair won Arif Wan Junaidi, Muhammad Haikal Nazri, then made it a double delight for the national camp by crushing Lucas Corvi, Ronan Labar of France 21-17, 21-15 in final. However, national women's double Anna Ching Yi Cheong, Yap Cheng Wen's hopes of making it a triple treat for Malaysia fell short at the final hurdle when they lost 11-21, 16-21 to Indonesian Niketut Mahadewi Istarani Serena Kani. Meanwhile, Hon Jian and Yi Wei admitted that their never-give-up spirit was the key to winning the Australian Open Badminton Championships. They said they had to bounce back, especially after losing the first game to the top seeds Velaga Bauer.
First match kita ada sikit lost focus, so mistake agak banyak sikit. Second match kita support each other lah, dan kita never give up, fight until last point lah.
Kita tak fikir banyak sangat. Saya bagi tahu Hong Jian, kalah menang kita sekali. So kita sudah fight all out lah dalam court. So saya.
The pair added that they wanted to remain grounded despite their eye-catching hot streak run lately. Hon Jian promised to appear much stronger in the next tournament and also aims to train harder. National football head coach Tan Cheng Ho strongly believes that only time will tell if the three naturalized players would bring about the expected impact to the Harimau Malaya squad as they embarked on their mission for the World Cup 2022 and Asian Cup 2023 qualifiers in Dubai, United Arab Emirates, UAE. The squad will start the remainder of the Group G matches by playing against UAE on Thursday before taking on Vietnam and Thailand on 11th and 15th June, respectively. Cheng Ho said the situation was quite easy for the country's first naturalized player, Mohamadu Somare of Johor Darul Takzim JDT, who was called to join the national squad for the qualifying campaign, which began in September 2019 to get the rhythm of the game. However, it was not the case for the other two new naturalized players, Liridon Krasniki, who played in the Australian Professional League with Newcastle Jets, and JDT striker Guilherme de Paula. Cheng Ho said both of them are trying their best in every game or training session, adding that they give 100% commitment and cooperation as a team. Yesterday, national football legend Datuk Santos Singh expressed his disappointment with the performance of naturalized players in Harimau Malaya's two recent international friendlies, which they lost. Harimau Malaya lost 1-4 to Kuwait in a warm-up match in Dubai last week before losing to Bahrain 0-2 in Tier 1 international friendly at the Bahrain National Stadium in Riffa on Saturday. All right, that concludes this evening's news at 10. In our top story, additional 1 billion ringgit allocated to fortify public health system. Join us again at 12:30 tomorrow afternoon. I'm Shuhaida Arifin. Stay tuned to saluran Berita RTM and have a pleasant evening.